Welcome to the Life Tula podcast, where we talk about the things most people avoid: cancer, grief, dying, and the radical act of healing. We hold space for healing, not just surviving. You know what they don't tell you when you get diagnosed with cancer? That it might just cost you everything. Not just your health, but your savings, your job, your pride, your peace. Because while you're fighting to stay alive, the bills just keep coming. The reality is, even if you survive the treatment, you can still drown in the cost of staying alive. This is the part no one prepares you for. Not your doctor, not your HMO, not even the well-meaning people who say, just focus on healing. But how? How do you focus on healing when you're also focused on not losing your home? When every lab test, every chemo cycle, every scans comes with a number, and that number haunts you long after the hospital visit is over. Today, we're talking about financial toxicity. Not just as a term, but as a lived, devastating reality for so many cancer patients and their families. Because healing is hard enough, it should never come with a price tag that steals your dignity. Let's talk about it. One of the things that wasn't told to me when I was diagnosed with cancer, that one of the deepest wounds isn't just in your body, it's in your wallet. Chemotherapy was hard physically, emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. But you know what was even harder? Doing it while still working. Because I had to. Every week, I needed to raise nearly $500,000 just to stay alive. I will repeat, I had to raise nearly $500,000 just to stay alive. Yes, I had a job, I had an HMO, but let me tell you this, I depleted my coverage on my second chemo cycle. And after that, I had to grapple with the funds. Imagine for a moment you were in my shoes. You just found out you have stage 4 cancer. You're overwhelmed and terrified. And now on top of all of that, you're told you need to come up with hundreds of thousands of pesos every single week. How would you feel? How would you have done it? I had no choice but to swallow my pride. I had to eat the humble pie and learn how to ask and receive help. And that was one of the hardest things I ever had to do. But in that humility, I found unexpected grace. My employer, God bless them, rallied around me. They allowed me to focus on my healing, and as I let go of the control, God stepped in. You see, when you surrender, and I mean surrender everything, leave it on the floor, God finds a way to provide. Through people, through timing, through small miracles you didn't see coming. And that was what carried me. Not just the medicine, but God's mercy. Now let's talk about something that's not in the brochures or the discharge sheets: financial toxicity. It's a term used in healthcare to describe the financial stress or hardship that patients face because of the medical treatment. But for many of us, it's not just a term. It's real. It's daily. And oftentimes, it's really brutal. Financial toxicity shows up in quiet yet exhausting ways. Skipping tests because they cost too much, choosing between chemo and groceries, watching your savings disappear just to stay alive. For cancer patients, it's not just about surviving the disease. It's about surviving the cost. And what hurts the most is that while you're doing the hardest things you've ever had to do, the bills, they just keep coming. That's what financial toxicity is. A second burden, a hidden pain, a crisis that no one talks about enough. We've talked about the medical cost, but now let's name the ones no one puts on a receipt. There's the cost of energy, the kind you spend battling fatigue, trying to show up for work, or just, literally making out of bed. There's a cost of energy, the kind you spend battling with fatigue, trying to show up for work, or just making it out of bed. There's also the cost of dignity. You know how hard it is to ask for help over and over again, even though you were once the one relied on. There's the cost of relationships because not everyone stays. Some friends, they get awkward and they ghost you. Some colleagues pull away. And sometimes even family can't handle the weight. There's also the cost of future dreams. Plans you once had for travel, or a home, or even just putting together your savings account. It all had to pause, or get rerouted, or at worst, erased. And finally, there's the cost of the peace of mind. The anxiety every time a bill arrives, the guilt of being a burden, the stress of wondering how long can we keep this up. These are the hidden costs of cancer. They don't show up on a hospital bill, but you pay for them in ways that shake your soul. And when we talk about healing, we need to talk about these costs too. Because healing isn't just about beating cancer. It's about recovering what it stole. So how do we begin to lighten this heavy load, especially when it feels like everything is slipping through your fingers? The truth is, you shouldn't have to carry this alone. And while we can't fix a broken system overnight, we can take brave, practical steps to reclaim some peace. One choice, one resource, one act of courage at a time. You might be thinking, what can I actually do when everything costs so much? Here's the hard truth. While we may not be able to change how expensive healing is overnight, we can change how we respond to it. And sometimes knowing where to start can make all the difference. Let me offer a few things I've learned from walking this path and holding space for many others too. Here's tip number 1. Avail of the Cancer Assistance Fund. Many people don't even know this exists. The Department of Health, PhilHealth, and PCSO offer financial assistance program specifically for cancer patients. It may not cover everything, but it can be the difference between skipping a treatment and showing up. Ask your hospital's social worker or go directly to their websites. Tip number 2, learn how to ask and receive help. I'll repeat, learn how to ask and receive help. This one is deeply emotional. I know the pride we carry. I've had to eat the humble pie and ask for help. And the act of surrender just made space for grace. Crowdfunding isn't just about money. It's a love letter from people who want you to live. Tools like Go Get Funding, Air Funding, and even Facebook or Gcash or Maya and other payment platforms can mobilize support fast. And when you ask for help, make sure you share your story. And because you ask and receive help, update the people who are helping you so they know what is happening to you. Tip number 3, Explore non-traditional income streams. If you're too weak to work the way you used to, don't force it. But maybe you can explore things like digital services, selling something handmade, or even sharing your journey through writing, coaching, or small online gigs. There are ways to earn that don't require you to get out of bed and really be out there hustling. You're still valuable even in stillness. Now, here's something people don't usually do, and this is your bonus tip. Designate a trusted help captain. It could be a relative, it could be your best friend. Sometimes the hardest part is the admin, queuing for help, setting appointments, funding applications, documents, deadlines. They can be overwhelming. Ask your help captain or someone close to you to be your point person. It lets others help in a concrete way and gives you space to really heal. You're not failing because you need help. You're not weak because you can't shoulder this alone. We are never meant to heal in isolation, especially not when the system is already stacked against us. I want to end this episode by saying something that's not often said loud enough. You didn't ask for this. You didn't choose this path. And yet, you are walking it with more courage than most people will ever know. Cancer may have emptied your bank account, but it has not emptied your worth. It may have shaken your foundation, but it has not stolen your soul. The financial toll is real, but so is the power of community. So is the grace of strangers. And so is the miracle of waking up each day and deciding, I will still fight. I will continue to believe, and I will still be here. Let me leave you with this. You are not a burden because you need help. You are a human being carrying a burden no one should carry alone. If you're listening right now, and maybe you're in the thick of it, worried sick about the next medical bill, or how to explain your needs again to someone who doesn't understand, pause, breathe, and know this. There is no shame in surviving. There is no shame in receiving. And there is sacred strength in asking for what you need. You are not alone, and you don't have to go through this alone. This is the Life Doula podcast, where we hold space for healing, not just surviving. Until next time, stay soft where you can and strong where you must.